This training will go over the member profile portion of the Aloha loyalty application. So let's go ahead and go to the website. So we're using the demo website as usual. This is not a live site. This is what we use for training purposes, so it's not actually going to have live data, but we're going to use this to learn how to use this, the member profile. All right, so let's look at this portion here. So we are already clicked into the member profile underneath Aloha Loyalty, and we are at the Welcome to the Aloha Loyalty Member Wizard. So this is where we can filter through all of our members, and we can also add members, update their profile information, for example. So let's look at the top filter. So this first drop down, it says Select Filter. Let's just look at this. And these are all the different ways that we can filter through the information. And let's go over a couple of these. Let's use, for example, let's go down to member name first of all. So inevitably you're going to have a customer who lost their card and you need to give them a new card. So on this filter, member name, we would utilize this to actually find the member in the database. And we're just going to type in a first name here. And generally, you know, your server says, you know, I've got table 25, the person lost their card, give the first and last name to the manager. The manager will then come back to the office and log on to the website and type in, we can just type in the first name. We don't have to type in the last name. And then we're going to hit go. And then it's going to bring every single member with that name. And here we have 2. And then we can use other pieces of information like the last name, for example, to further clarify which person this is. So we're going to, we can actually double click on this one, this member, Clayton Stang, and it's going to take us to the member profile information screen. So we're already in the office. We're going to grab a card, and we're literally going to type the new card number over the old card number. Now, something to note is this first number here, the 10006. That's what we call the prefix. That's going to be embedded on this screen because this is the type of card this person has. And we're actually just going to type in the other numbers. Another thing you'll notice is there's all these leading zeros. You don't have to type in the leading zeros. The system recognizes that there's a 9-digit number that needs to be entered here. So this is card number 1. We would only have to type in the last number, obviously. Let's look at the rest of the screen while we're on it, though. You can see there's red asterisks next to first name, last name, for example, email address. These are required pieces of the profile. If you listened into the configuration training, there's default profile information and then there's required profile information. So red asterisk is required. Now you'll see that there's a lot of pieces that don't have the red asterisk that are, the font is blue. Let's go ahead and enable all profile fields. And when we do that now, all areas we can enter information. And these literally are what we call the default. So the anniversary date, for example, if the person's married and you wanted to enter that in, you can actually trigger some bonus or a bonus program dependent on their anniversary date. And this is a wedding anniversary date. This is not an anniversary date of them signing up. The system actually will record that on its own. It doesn't need your help with that, and you can create a bonus program surrounding that as well. So you can enter all this information. The lower portion of the screen is the company-defined profile fields. Now, on the configuration, during the configuration training, we saw those questions alphabetically or list alphabetically on the member profile. But here, all of those fields are actually listed at the bottom half. So you can see, and let's look at an example of a free-form text and then the predefined. So, for example, let's see, how about organization? This will be something that you could type in anywhere. That's going to be a free-form text. But then another question is, what is your favorite app? Now, that's one that we created our own answers for, thus creating this drop-down. So we can choose the answers, and then we can filter through all of our members, say, for example, for people who like nachos. So that would be one that we could filter through. All right, and when we were done with that, we could click Save. We're going to choose the back button. We're going to go back to the member wizard and look at some of the other options. Let's look at this filter again, and let's just talk about a couple of these. How about card not used? Maybe you want to send out an email blast to customers who haven't come in for the last 30 days. or 90 days, for example. So we can actually type in the month, day, and year. We can use the calendar little icon here to pick as well. Might be a little bit easier. And then choose the last date range, and then hit go. And it's literally going to bring a list to the screen here in this box of all the people who haven't come in and used their loyalty card during that time frame. Maybe you want to send them out an email to say, we've missed you, dust off your loyalty card and come on in, let us show you why you love us so much, for example. Just a good way to use this card not used. And let's actually look at this export. How would we get that listing out of this box right here? So after we have our list here, we can actually click this export button. And let's go ahead and do that. And it's actually going to give us the data from those customers. And this is only 2 customers in our example, but it's still going to give us a list here. All right, it's going a little slow right now, but it's going to bring up a pop-up and ask us if we want to save this list or open this list, and it's going to export this list as a CSV, which is pretty much like an Excel spreadsheet with most people are familiar with, and then you can take that Excel spreadsheet and cut and paste the information, send it to a marketing company, whatever you'd like to do with it. All right, let's go ahead and go back to the filter and look at some other ones. If we wanted to search for some other pieces of information, maybe birth date, maybe we want to send out an email broadcast to all the people that we're getting ready to send something out, and we need to get a list of all of our November birthdays, for example. It's a month away, and we're ready to populate this list. So what we can do is we can actually type in, again, another date range. This one, though, we're not going to type in the year because we're not looking for a time span of that year. We are just looking for the month and the day, so maybe January 1 through January 31, for example, and then we're going to hit go, and it's going to be able to bring up a list of everyone whose birthday is in that date range. Again, we would export that list, send it to a marketing company to send out an email blast, for example. All right, another one is member sign-up date. A lot of people like to use this. If you are having your customers go on to, if you're using the member link, and you want to see how many customers, say for instance, signed up in the last 30 days or activated a loyalty card in the last 30 days and have also gone on to MemberLink and entered their profile information, you can run a filter for member sign-up date. Now this is going to give you all the members. Not all will have entered their information yet, but it will let you know, say for example, if you've got 100 people that swiped for the first time or they activated their cards, and then you see that 50 people have gone online and entered their profile, you've got a 50% success rate of people being committed to entering their information. So you know you're having some good success, and maybe you need to talk to your servers a little bit more about reminding them verbally to go to the website to enter their profile information. Just an example there. All right, we're going to go over one more example of the member profile, the search member profile data. So here, this example that I mentioned before, if you're trying to find out a specific piece of information, who all likes nachos? Maybe I want to change the nacho recipe, or maybe people don't like it. So I email everybody that said their favorite appetizer was nachos. And we send them an email just trying to get some feedback. This would be a great, simple way, obviously, to find every single person who said the word nacho in their profile. All right, so let's look at another thing. So now we're done talking about the filter. Let's talk about entering the profile information into the system. Now, as I've mentioned a couple times, we have a member link. It's a hyperlink that you can utilize and put on your company website. But if that's not something that you want to do, maybe you're a smaller company, you want to handle adding the member information in-house, you can actually utilize the configuration tool to create your own custom text voucher that's going to ask for the specific information that you'd like. And once you swipe the loyalty card on the POS for the first time, it's going to insert that number into the system, and therefore it will actually be able to show up here on the member profile now. And when that happens, you know, the voucher is going to print up, you're going to give it to the customer, they're going to fill out the information, they're going to give it back to the server, and then whoever logs onto here would be able to enter it in. So what they would do in that situation to enter the person's information, you're going to choose card number. Because at this point, that's what you have. You have the card number. If you have several different loyalty cards, you would use this second drop down to choose it, and we're just going to choose the ACES VIP card. Most people will only have one, but you might have several in here. And then it'll populate the prefix, the 19999, and then we can type in the card number. Now, you remember what we said before, you don't have to type in the leading zeros. So if their card number is 50, all you do is you just type in 50 and hit go. Then that card number would immediately populate here. And if we get to that, let's just say, for example, this is the new card number. It wouldn't have any of this name information in it. It would say their sign-up date and their card number, and that's it. We can actually click on it once and hit edit, or we can double